let's begin. So could you tell me your full name, please?
My name is Yeonjin Nam, but you can call me Michelle.
Okay, perfect. And are you working or are you a student?
I'm a student. I'm currently in university at a university, and yeah, my major is biomedical and biomedicine sciences.
And do you enjoy studying this major?
I guess yes, because when I was in freshman, we don't really learn those major materials. But from second graders, we're learning those like microbiology or genetics. And I feel like they're pretty interesting. So I guess I like my major.
And could you tell me about your hometown?
My hometown, it's kind of, because I'm Korean, but I lived in China for like 10 more years. So I would like to describe about China. I'm from Qingdao. I don't know if you know or not, but there is lots of foods that I really enjoy to eat, especially the mara xiangguo. I don't know in English, but it's like a very spicy food, yes.
Okay. And what do you enjoy doing in your free time?
Oh, my free time. I guess because I am really an outgoing person, so I love to hang out with my friends. For example, we go to eat some foods and go to cinema, or we can go to those game centers, or maybe karaoke.
Now we're going to talk about the internet. So when did you start using the internet?
I cannot remember exact when I started, but I think from elementary school I started to use the internet because in school there are some projects that we have to search for it. So I think I started using internet from elementary school.
And how often do you use the internet these days?
Very much because I feel like internet is, getting more advanced. So, for example, in university, we also use the internet for our projects, especially ChatGPT. I use that a lot for my study, and it's really helpful. So I think every day I'm using my internet.
And do you think you spend too much time online?
Yes, because one of my hobbies is watching the dramas. So I think I use too much, sometimes almost a whole day. So
Yes. And what would you do without the internet?
maybe reading some books, and music is also internet, right? Because one of my hobbies is dancing, so I just turn on the music and maybe cleaning some house, and yeah.
Okay. Now let's talk about singing. So do you like singing?
Yes, I love to go to karaoke with my friends, but I don't think I'm that good at singing, but I still enjoy it.
And have you ever learned how to sing?
No, actually not. I've never learned singing, but I would like to learn if I have a chance.
Okay. And do you think singing can bring happiness to people?
Yes, I guess so, because sometimes people even cry because they are very emotional when they listen to some song. For example, The Greatest Showman OST really is touching heart. It really touches heart. So, yeah, I think singing can bring happiness.
Okay, perfect. Okay, that'll do us for part 1. Now we'll go on to part 2 of the test. Here is your question, and I'll give you a pencil there.
Yep.
All right, so now I'm going to give you 1 minute to read the question, and you can do some note taking here if you like. All right. Okay, so that's 1 minute now. All right, so could you describe a time you saw a child behave badly in public?
Yes, I don't remember when I saw it, but I was in a restaurant with my family, and I saw there were 2 children who were playing around, and I thought it's okay because they are just a kid, but they were like playing with a small ball, and running around and really they were very, very naughty, and I thought it was a bit dangerous for both children and also other people because people are walking around there and also people are serving the foods. So I thought the parents should let them to be a bit let them calm down a bit, but they were just doing nothing, and other people were also staring at them, and I thought at first I could understand because they're just a child. So, but because it's dangerous, I thought like their parents should take care of them. Yes.
Okay. So that's about 1 minute and 10 seconds, yeah? And do you think other people in the restaurant were bothered by their actions?
Yes, a little bit, because I was eating hot pot and you have to go to get sauce. So, they have to walk a lot, but they were like running around and just, throwing some balls. So it may be, a bit dangerous and really bothering them.
Okay, perfect. Okay, now let's go into part 3 of the test. Okay, let's keep it going. So yeah, what kinds of bad behavior do children usually do?
I don't know if it's bad, but like, there are some places you have to be quiet, For example, cinema, people have to really be focused on movie. But there are some children who don't listen to their parents and, while the movie is playing, they're screaming or talking to the next person. I think that can be a bad behavior because it bothers others. So in that case, parents should really tell them. Like in cinema, because it's a quiet place, you guys should be quiet a little bit. Yes. Take care of your behavior.
Right. And do you think in your country parents usually do this?
I think it depends, but usually majority of people will tell their children because they are, even a kindergarten know the mood and vibes. So if they tell them, oh, here you have to be quiet, we can talk later, then they could understand.
Yes, yes. And do you think parents these days are stricter than they were in the past?
I think for some cases they're really strict, but in other parts they are not stricter than before. For example, I think study, parents became more strict because it's really hard to get into a good university. So they really take care of their children education. So they are really strict to children because I'm aware of that in Korea, they start to learn a lot of things from kindergarten. So I think in this way, parents are being more strict. But in other cases, like for example, doing the house chores, they are very open. So, yeah.
Yes. And do you think it's possible for parents to be too strict with their children?
I think everyone is different, but I guess yes, because for me, when I was a child, my mom didn't really care about my education, so she wanted me to do it by myself. But there are some parents who force them to study until like 2 a.m. or until the late time. So I think in that case, parents are too strict to their children.
And could this have a negative effect on children or the relationship?
Yes, I think there are some positive effects. For example, it could help them to study a lot for their future. But if they don't sleep well, because they're children, I think they have to sleep well. But it will, there are lots of people who have sleep deprived, so it's affecting their health.
Yes. And whose influence on children is more important, friends or parents?
Oh, it's a tough question. But I think it really depends on the age, because in kindergarten, I think parents are actually everything to them. But from middle school and high school, I think friends affects more, because we're spending more time with our friends rather than parents. For example, in school, and there are lots of students who go to classes even after school, and they're with their friends, right? So I think it really affects their, their habits and all those stuff. Yeah.
Sure. And what are some common rules among families in your country?
Common rules? I've never think of this question before, but I guess common rules. I don't know if it's a common rule, but I think many Korean really enjoys their weekend with their family. For example, they can go to hang out to some restaurants or do other outside activities, or there are some people who enjoys indoor activities as well, watching TV together and read some books together.
Okay, perfect. Okay, that'll do us for the test. All done. Thank you very much.
That was really
Yeah, that was quick, right? All right. So yeah, let's start with the feedback now. So yeah, that was a really good test. Obviously, fluency, pronunciation, really strong. Yeah, there's almost no hesitation at all, and really easy to understand. Yeah, just like there's a few grammar issues that we can talk about. Maybe we can go through a couple, right? At the beginning, you said like when I was in freshman. I'd probably say when I was a freshman.
freshman, yeah.
When I was a freshman, yeah. And you said second grade, right?
Second graders.
Second graders, like in the UK and Ireland, we don't usually say grade for university either. So I'd probably say year is more common.
Second year.
Yeah, I know in America they use like what freshman and sophomore like that. We would say like right. We would say like first year, second year, third year of university, right? Okay, when we talked about the sentence, there is a lot of foods I enjoy to eat. Like there are a lot of dishes, maybe that could be better. There are a lot of dishes I enjoy eating. Yeah, so enjoy, always the ing there. When we talk about the internet, make sure we always say the internet. Yeah, using the internet every day. Yeah. And when I asked you, do you use the internet often or much? You said like, yeah, every day I'm using the internet. I'd probably use the just present simple there. So I use
the internet every day.
Yeah, I use the internet every day. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and part two, you spoke for I think it was 1:10. So if you were doing the real IELTS test, I would try to keep talking. Yeah, if you have a little bit more detail, you could talk about, the reactions of other people. I think you just kind of touched on that. So maybe you could give some more detail if you can. Yeah, just in terms of the tense, I think you're using present continuous sometimes, people are walking. So people were walking around and they were throwing the balls. So yeah, and yeah, this is like a little bit difficult grammar. You said should let them calm down, right? So let them is more like allow them to calm down. So probably like make them. Tell them to, yeah, maybe tell them would be better. So, and we want to use should have told. So should have plus past participle. So I think parents should have told them to calm down, or parents should have scolded them, or parents should have asked them to be quiet. Yeah, that was all good. Yeah, when we talked about part three, this one like a comparative sentence. I asked you, are parents these days stricter than in the past? And you said they're not stricter than before. Better way to say that would be using as. So they're not as strict as yeah, they're not as strict as before actually. Yeah, so it's often used when you're comparing. Yeah, good vocabulary as well. Sleep deprived. Make sure I would just say are, like people are sleep deprived these days. Yeah. And the last one is about
Outdoor activity.
yeah, so outside and outdoor. Outside is the adverb, right?
Yeah.
So go outside, work outside. Outdoor would be the adjective, right? Outdoor activities, yeah, with that. But yeah, really good test. So thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you so much.
All right.